Let me at him!
Well, there it is. Hello, welcome to a map review. This map is called... thank you very much for the subscription, Official Mormon Jesus. Thank you very much. This map is called Dragon City, as we can see from the title up here, and it was sent to me by the Doomed Monk to be reviewed. And let's have a look and see what the description is first of all for this map, so we can suss out how we're going to analyse it. Suggested players are free for all, 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 2. Inside the city, the dragons overlook the fountain, while in the outskirts, the thieves, golems, and kobolds lurk. Version 12th to the 9th, 15th. Author, Hellish Monkey. Right, so let's have a look, shall we? Let's zoom out of this. Oh, it's not going to crash on me just yet. I think there's quite a lot of doodads in this, but as you can see, it's very symmetrical in its appearance. So just a little bit more further back before we crash. Now I'm going to try to make these reviews a lot quicker and hopefully put in some gameplay as well. But if there is no gameplay, then there'll be one hell of a quick review regardless. So as you can see, player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. Those are your starting positions. So you either have a free-for-all or you have 2 versus 2. Versus 2 versus 2. Probably better if I switch to this one. There we go. That gets a better analyze. There we go. Okay, so let's zoom in from player 1's point of view and begin from there. So, this is your starting position. Now, I assume the gold mine is going to be here. Otherwise, there is no gold mine for the players. Player 1 might be missing a gold mine by the looks of it. So we might want to add one in. That's the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to go to neutral, passive, gold mine. Chuck that in, I assume there. It has to be. How could it not be? Player 1. Yeah, you still got your starting position. Yeah. Yeah, that looks legit. That should be right. If it isn't right, then, well, damn. I might have to even quickly test the map. Really, that should show up as a town hall, so I don't know if I have to put it here just to get it to show up, but we'll leave it here for the moment and hope that that works. Anyway, let's have a look at the creeps. There's powerful creeps here, but it is a base. But to be fair, if you're playing this in 1 versus 1, you'd have 2 of these creep camps, so you'd have 2 lots of level 28 creeps, which could drop you some amazing items. Level 8 artifact items. So in a 1 versus 1, this would be really powerful. I doubt this would be much of a 1 versus 1 map. This definitely looks like a free-for-all or a 2 versus 2 map to me, so I'm going to kind of look at it from that point of view. Free-for-all is kind of okay to have powerful items because essentially you're taking on multiple players, whereas 1 versus 1, if you've got like multiple level 8 items, it's kind of GG at that point. Level 4 permanent, level 8 artifacts, super powerful, but these creeps will do a little bit of damage to you. So just assuming that it is 2 versus 2 or free for all 4 players are in the game, you won't have these creeps anyway. So where would you go from there? Well, you've got some light green camps, which we need to see. So you got a couple of green camps outside your base alongside an orange green camp, so that's very good creep distribution. I like the layout as well. This is actually really quite neat. You've got 2 pathways into the base, so obviously the base is very protected. It's going to be pretty damn difficult to get inside the base. I'm a little concerned that it's not necessarily big enough for buildings, but I think it will be. Otherwise you're kind of screwed, and wood might be a little bit low. Doodads. There are 119 trees. You might need a few more trees. I don't know whether to just push the map out a little bit more and have this amount extra trees, if you see what I mean. But anyway, that's up to your discretion. And going back to creeps, your first sort of green camp is a level 1 permanent, level 1 power-up item on a bandit that has 240 health. So you're going to get yourself, Mantle of Intelligence, kind of thing like that. Slippers of Agility, Gauntlets of Ogre Strength or Cloak of Shadows, so you could just snipe that out. It's not a super powerful item, but it's very easy to get and then ignore the other 2, but you could just do them anyway, and that's fine really. And over here you've got the same deal, so Blade Master could just pop here, and then go on his way, but it's not going to give him the super powerful items which he wants, like the +6 Claws of Attack. So what are we looking at? Level 2 permanent item, that's much more likely to give him a +6 Claws of Attack. If we have a look, we got, yeah, Claws of 6, so that, and that creep has, I always look at it from the point of view of a Blade Master. 500 health, that's quite a chunk of health to be fair. That's not easy for a Blade Master to beast through, and he will take a bit of damage from these other level 5 creeps. So this Orange Creep Camp is level 15, that's pretty reasonable. That works enough for me, in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty well balanced, I would say. I quite like that. I like this tiny little pathway you can go, specifically for heroes to dodge up and down. It's just nice to have that little extra sort of like angle to go from. But like I say, you might need to almost just stretch this out a little bit. So pull this over to here, so then you've got a bit more gap rather than this much gap. And again, have this much more trees, I would say, in the starting position. Otherwise, that's looking cool. Now you got a really juicy looking marketplace here, but guarding it is 2 freaking giant granite golems, so that's level 22 in total. This creep camp is going to destroy you. I could only imagine doing this on where you've got about, you know, 7, 8 fiends minimum and onwards. Ranged units to try and pull them, otherwise you're going to take a lot of damage. Level 1 power up item seems crazy. Is that just because you wanted one of these creeps to drop something? Level 4 power up permanent item is definitely pretty damn good. That's where you get into auras, but I don't think that's generous enough. If you had level 4 permanent there, and this guy dropped like level 2 charged at least, maybe level 3 charged, that might make more sense. Because they're pretty tough to creep, those guys. You're going to take a few losses or get punished for it. I quite like this, how you've got another creep camp here. It's just a light green camp. It's just something else for people to do. But if they do choose to go for it, then they're putting themselves into a bit of harm's way because super narrow pathway. You really like these narrow pathways. I think you can only fit like 1 unit in at a time. So if you do choose to go down that route, you're going to basically block yourself in case you get ganked. But it's fine to have that. Over here we got a mercenary camp, which looks pretty damn reasonable, to be honest. It looks like the one off Tyrannus stand, very similar to it without the mud golems. Level 15 in total, so that's reasonable. Level 3 permanent item, that's acceptable in that circumstance, and you're getting yourself access to mercenary. Taverns, 1 here, 1 on this side, so player 1, player 2 can share this one. And you got 1 in the middle, pretty easy to access for all players concerned, so I think that's a perfectly fine place to leave the tavern. Over here you've got the shop as you enter towards the middle of the map, and this is guarded by more golems, huge rock golems, so level 18 in total. You know how difficult these can be to kill when there's just 1 of them, so typically you only have 1 of these and a couple of trolls, that kind of thing to deal with, but at the moment you've got 3 of these, so you're going to get storm bolted to hell. Level 4 charged item though is pretty damn powerful. That's like Book of the Undead and sort of like healing wards, hellstones. Not too bad, but I think that might be a little bit over punishing. If you were to say, for example, just swap these guys out, I think you should really only have like 1 golem. I mean, again, the same deal with the 2 rock golems. Like maybe if you had like a red dragon guarding this, not like the level 10 red dragon, but like a level 6 red drake, if that made sense. I can't find the model for myself, but it's just as a circumstance. The marketplace shouldn't be that easy to access anyway early on, and you wouldn't typically access it. So when you do access it, you're probably going to have some form of anti-air typically. So you could always have a red drake there or something like that, maybe 2. Otherwise 2 of these big ass golems is a lot to deal with, and again 3 is too much I think, so you would have something like 1 there, and I don't know, what have we got? That's part of our creeps. Well, I would add in some trolls, but I can't find the trolls unless I go towards Lordaeron Summer, and you'd have something like that kind of thing, you know. It's still a powerful creep camp, level 14. If you really wanted to, just add in a crappy level 2 Shadow Troll Priest. Not that many. And then you got level 16 in total. And then it's a bit more varied. And this shop is definitely very difficult to creep. And those are level 1 characters. They need to be neutral. That's fine though. We're not caring too much about it. You got the Gold Mine, the expansion for each player, which is pretty difficult to get to. This is one concern I would have for this map, is as a human player, if I militia up, I'd have to send my militia all the way around here, and they would probably run out by the time they get over here. So this is very punishing towards human players. So unless you had another way to access this, or just have the entrance be here instead. So you would just get rid of the doodads. I don't know what I just hit there. There we go. This kind of thing. That way, your human players, they could send their militia, they could come around here and creep this. and then obviously you could also access it from this point over here. The narrow gap means that it can be somewhat blocked by buildings if you really wanted to. You could always put an arcane vault there or something just to make it a bit more difficult for people to get in. But typically if you're taking this gold mine, you're going to be taking it from this point, so you don't mind having that accessible. So that's what I would suggest for this. So do this like for all of these other gold mine spots. And the creeps are relatively powerful. Level 21 is quite high for a gold mine, but you got to bear in mind that creeps have to be able, militia have to be able to creep this, and they're going to take some nasty damage from these guys because they cast poison on your creeps, on your mobs. So basically, you're going to be taking damage over time. However, a level 5 permanent item is incredibly powerful, but it's okay for level 20 plus creeps. But you're looking at Ancient Django. I'm not sure if this should be on a different set of creeps. So if you took the level 5 and put it on these guys, and then took what these guys drop, a level 4, say, permanent item, and a level 2 charged item, and put it on these. But if you had the gold mine, I would only put something like a level 4 permanent item max, or a level 3 charged item. I think you can't give people too much, because they're getting the gold mine as well. And if they get something like a level 5 permanent item, and a level 3 charged item, that's way too high, in terms of sort of like generosity. Because that player's not only cleared themselves that gold mine, so they could potentially make an expansion out of it, but they've also got game-winning items from that point already, so you could go and win the game from that point. Anyway, that's kind of your symmetrical part from there. So this player down here is going to have the same sort of deal, and as he rolls over to the right, it's going to be the same sort of thing. And again, for Teal, his right-hand side is much like player 1's right-hand side, if you see what I mean. So it's all symmetrical, it's all good. You've got your marketplace, you've got mercenary camp, you've got goblin laboratory. Do you have it? No, you've got goblin merchant. Do you have a goblin laboratory? Doesn't look like there is one, so for someone like me that loves a shredder, that's not accessible. That means you don't have zeppelins, nor do you have the possibility of sappers. So I would probably fit one in here if I was to be honest with you, because this seems like a good enough place. It's a nice little like hold up place, so I think you could easily have it, or you could just get rid of the trees and make that more accessible. That's fine. I don't mind this being so blocked as it is, but I would probably have a neutral. Where's my thing? What am I after? Not player 1, passive. Laboratory, I would have that, so you could at least access it. But if you were to do this, you need to have a bit more of a gap. It's a bit awkward because of the buildings being there, so I don't really mean to move them onto the road, but you see what I mean? You just keep this blocked as it is, but just make sure that if people play, you need to play test this, and if players do build anything, or, you know, get a unit from here, if it spawns down here, it can escape and get out, because that'd be the worst case scenario. You get a shredder, but he's stuck in the doodads. You don't want that. But anyway, that kind of solves that problem. You've got all your camps from that point on, and it's kind of all within range. So you've got mercenary camp, you've got goblin lab, you've got merchant as well. And the marketplace comes into play a lot more later on, and it's cool to have that. But bear in mind that if you do have a marketplace for every single player, that's 4 marketplaces. 4. And there's some powerful items on this map, so you could really stock up. But then again, since it's a free-for-all map, I'm okay with marketplaces, but I honestly think you should have probably 2 maximum, probably 1. So I'd almost do that, you know, and then find a place for a marketplace instead, because I don't think you can have 4 marketplaces. I think you can probably have 1 in the middle somewhere, but I don't think you can have 4. I don't think you can have it. But otherwise, this map looks gorgeous. Sort of like, I love the terrain. I love sort of like the design. The doodads are pretty cool. It gives it a lot of character, especially the buildings. Makes it feel like it's a realm that is lived within. And this middle part is very epic in terms of its design. You've got a lot of flying drakes in the middle, which kind of makes sense, because if you were to get towards that middle point, you better have some anti-air or some powerful creeps that can deal with these. Level 4 permanent item. Pretty damn powerful for what is essentially only level 12. So you've got to bear that in mind. That probably should be a level 3 permanent item. Just saying. in terms of like how difficult it is. It might be air, but it's not that difficult if you have the appropriate amount of riflemen or archers or whatever. And as for the middle, well, let's have a look. Level 10 Red Dragon. Yep, level 8 Artifact. That's probably the reason why you couldn't have 4 marketplaces, I would say. Otherwise things would get a little bit crazy. Level 3 charged item for a level 6 Drake and level 3 charged item. So you're going to get yourself, what? Level 8 Artifact item. Here's your Mask of Death. Crown of Kings. Think of the middle of Marketplace, that actual map. Or you don't actually get the Tome of Power. That never drops. Or if it does drop, yeah, I can't remember actually. I can't actually guarantee that it never drops, but I don't remember ever seeing it drop. It's normally just this or this. And level 3 charged item, you're looking at sort of healing or huge invulnerability or a couple of items that you're just going to sell for 200 gold. So you're going to get 400 gold on top of a level 8 artifact item. So it's super powerful to do this, but it's not easy. It's level 28 in terms of total power, so I'm okay with that to some degree. I think you might need to say level 3 charged item and then a level 1, level 2 charged item on the other guy. You might be a little bit too generous in terms of the middle here, but that's okay. I think just getting the level 8 artifact item is pretty much good enough as it is. But there you go. This is the map in its whole design. As you can see, it's pretty beautiful. And I almost starting to see the Nazi symbol here. To be fair, you start to see that whenever you create maps. If you've been a map maker and you haven't seen the Nazi symbol, then you are the most naive person ever, to be quite frank with you. I'm just saying this all. I'm not saying it's right. Maybe you're better off as a human being for not seeing it, but I'm just saying I've made quite a few maps in my time as well, and it's really difficult to make a symmetrical map that looks cool and not somehow passively create the Nazi symbol. But now that I've mentioned that, I'm sure people are going to start seeing that all the time. But anyway, that's okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's up to people. I'm okay with that. So you can go along with your subliminal sort of messaging. That's fine. So yeah, the main changes I would make is probably more trees, bigger gap here, just make it a bit easier for players to run in and out rather than going through someone's base, because if someone puts a bunch of towers here, you can never go up this way basically. However, you do have the middle to go through, but it's pretty difficult to go through the middle, bear that in mind, and avoid these drakes during the daytime and not somehow pull aggro. So you'd have to almost creep those if you wanted to access the middle, otherwise you're kind of stuck going between the two players. Yep. Gold mine, I would leave an access point just so that militia can get through, because that's too far of a run to get here, and add a goblin laboratory. Just my personal preference. And you got all your shops, they're all nearby, tavern's perfectly fine, map looks great, loads of trees, yeah, I like it. I do. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and this is a much quicker map review, which I hope gives it just as much justice. It does look fantastic, and yeah. We'll try to give it a go a bit later. Look, you've even got different aesthetics on this side. You've got a graveyard. Do you have a graveyard up here? I don't think you do. No, you have something different. You have a war mill and that. And then this side will probably have the graveyard. No, you ain't got a graveyard on this side. Oh yeah, that's cool. You also put in a bit of effort on that side. So you didn't have the graveyard there. I'm going to try the map in the original form. So I better just load it up again and see what changes I made, because otherwise I'm going to have to make changes to everything. So we'll play it in your original form, okay, without the changes that I've talked about, because this is up to you to review it, and then we can always play it again. But as long as the player one has got a gold mine, that's the main thing. And then the rest I'll just leave as it is, and we'll see whether that, you know, is perfectly fine. Alright then guys, thank you very much, and see you in the game. If not, then thank you very much for watching this review. Gonna try out Dragon City, and I just realised Hassan took the cheat colour, so I'm annoyed about that. I'm already in a bad mood. Dragon City, let's give this a go. This hasn't got any of the changes I made in it, bear that in mind. This is going to be purely as it is. And looks like I got myself some undead, so I'm going to abuse that undead imbalance. My ally has spawned down here, so it's going to be left versus right, west versus east. And good luck to you, because you're human. So yeah, you can see, especially when you're inside the map, how far you would have to travel with your militia just to reach the creep spot, let alone creep it. So yeah, you need some sort of middle access point here. Okay, but undead is going to be super easy because it takes no skill to play undead. Unless you're going late game in 1 versus 1 where you have triple heroes, then it gets a bit more difficult because goodness knows I suffer at that point. So, I can't remember what their races were, but I've got a bit of a way to go if I want to find out, because it's quite a long way to go if you want to scout as well. The map is actually deceptively big. It's pretty good actually, but I would liken it much more similar, somewhere in between Twisted Meadows and Phantom Grove, and Phantom Grove's a much bigger map. Oh, that is so scary. I ain't touching that. So the middle spot is full of dragons, so fiends are going to need tier 2 for web, so undead will be pretty damn powerful on this map as well, thinking about it. You pop over here, you may as well sit by the graveyard. Got some scouting going on. Night Elf at the bottom right. Okay. Not sure how Night Elf tackle this map either. But the undead build is pretty solid. It's pretty comfortable base in terms of undead though, because I can block off very comfortably. As you can see, that's really difficult for anyone to reach my gold mine. It's really neatly at the back there, and they've got to come through here. I could have a cigarette here just to put Nerubian Tower there, just to make it a nightmare for popping into my base, but we'll see how the game goes through. If a brick came through my window and I looked outside and saw an old woman yelling at me to keep the noise down and turn off your satanic music, what would you do? I would just shout out, hell no, old lady. I'm okay with the Nazi symbol and the satanic lifestyle that I've chosen, and you should be okay with it too. Besides, why is she bothered about it anyway? Hasn't she got better things to do? Looks like he's creeping. Good for him. There's loads of easy creep spots. Just trying to think of where I want to go. Maybe I go right, do this little spot, and then move on to like the more difficult mercenary spot, because I think there's some good stuff from that merc camp. I think it's a level 3 at least. Oh, this is so easy. Look at these wee little bandits, they pose no threat. No threat to no one. I'm not even sure they drop an item. Was this the map that had the level 2? No. Oh, look at that. Yeah, they're quite powerful, easy items in terms of how difficult they are to kill. Undead will have a field day with this map though, I think, overall. But I want to get to tier 2 fairly quickly, so I actually might cancel that next fiend and just get a tech going, so I can get to tier 2 quicker for web. Hurry up to Vitality. I could just leave this this bit now and move on to the next creep camp, knowing that I've got that item. Got some cool creeps from the Dalaran set, from the Dragon set. I think it is still that map set. Anyway, back to ghouls. That was pretty easy to do. Can't do the Golem camp as we know, and as undead, I know that this is their expansion, so there's a possibility that they took an expansion, and if they did, they're going to get pretty much wrecked in a second. If not, I might end up creeping it, because I remember that the items are really good. Oh, I know Anubis. I know. It is pretty big for 2 versus 2. But that's what I say, it's much more like Twisted Meadows and Thingamajig. Phantom Grove. It's this middle guy that I want to kill. This is a bit risky doing the enemy's territory, but what the hey. I've got undead, I've got fiends. Oh, didn't... Yeah, that carrion swarm is pretty funny. Potion of Greater Mana, Claws of Attack plus 12, what the hell? I think I'll just walk away now, and I'll try and do some healing in the middle, if I can get away with it. Did I lose a fiend? I might have lost a fiend, actually. Looks like I can... Oh no, I can't, fuck. Red dragons don't sleep, the big ones. What are you doing? Damn. They are not happy. They've seen me off, they have those red dragons. Okay. Now we'll try and do this creek camp, because obviously the items are just crazy in terms of how much power they contain. So you definitely want to do the expansion spot first on this map. Obviously the changes might get made so that there isn't something to, you know, exploit anymore, but for now... Oh, two. Sorry, mate. Didn't realise they'd be so aggressive. I'll teleport in then. Oh, that is quite aggressive. I want level more on my Death Knight, basically. I want level more. Let your Archmage get back in. If I have level 3 Death Knight, I can start chucking out so many coils. We just need like a level or two. At least you've got a good base defense to some degree. It's a little bit clunky and hard to sort of reach them though. I can't get too close. This is some hyper aggression from them. That's a lot of mana burn, so I appreciate that, Mr. Demon Hunter. Oh shit. That's all those mana burns. Doing a great job. Militia up. Okay, now we're talking. Got some coil fun coming soon. Got some nuke. Oh, you don't have tier 2. I can't heal up properly. Fuck. That could have gone easier. Let's do some creeping then. Need that Death Knight to pipe out. Thought they might come back. I can't do much versus a Demon Hunter, unfortunately, as undead. It's very easy to pick on me as undead. You got a Sentry Ward there or something, mate? Wisp, right. Need this tier 3 shenanigans. I thought he'd be trying to do one of these creek camps. Getting punished for this now, ain't ya? You bump into the red dragon. Red dragon! The The red dragon sees all. The red dragon sees all. I don't think I'm gonna kill this fucking demon hunter. They're so stupidly tanky. It's a bit depressing just how tanky they are. I was going to go into Frostworms, but I'm certainly not doing it now if he's going to go so heavy into hippos. Good attack there. Careful, don't overextend. Get back when needed. Gonna need some dispel by the looks of it. Okay, good. I'm gonna try and exploit something. What are you doing? That's pretty good. Shame it's on my heroes. I should get like a crit lord or something. Oh shit, there's so many of them. Okay, looks like they've got middle. I wouldn't go. I'd back off if I were you. Why you gotta hate my statues? God damn. They are tough. Or the Juan would have helped a lot here, but I'm getting it with my crit lord. Better giant strength. Take that with your Mountain King. Didn't touch that.
My patience has ended. I am darkness. Time is fleeting to me. Yeah.
Okay. What item have we got over here? Scroll of Raw, Ancient War Drums. Looks good.
For the Lich King.
I'd actually buy that if I could.
Research complete.
Back over here.
Darkness. Let battle enjoy. I am sworn to you ran. I have heard the summons. My patience has ended. Why no room?
Oh, that impale. Frosting over all those grunts as well. Stop cycling my Death Knight. Should have a pretty good tanky position here for the most part. I think we're still being overwhelmed though, unfortunately. Yeah, Hippo Rider's getting away with sniping too much there, unfortunately. Need another level. Power. I think it's safe to say they've got too much control of this game. I've tried to do the right thing, Fiends and Abominations versus like an Orc tanky army with Fiends for anti-air, but it's not really doing enough, to be honest. I've tried passing a lot of the stuff onto the Lich. I've already passed some claws. He's got claws as well. That battle got a bit carried away, so I need a bit of time to pass the stuff over. Didn't have all the time in the world there, that game. This is going to be very hard to take on. All I can do is try to bring down that Demon Hunter, but to be fair, it's not a... There you go. Good. Focus him down. Death Knight's gonna die. Crit Lord's gonna die. How the hell is that Nargothrond bitch quite so fast? Fuck. I can't fucking reach. Oh, that's fucking irritating the shit that is! Ugh! Fuck my life. How fucking annoying is that? I overly chased, but damn, there was no fucking reward for doing it. Too much fucking in the way to fucking find the click on that. I misclicked and it's right in the corner here. There's a bunch of fucking hypocrites fucking sitting around. It is really hard to find the right target there. God, that is so shitty. He totally deserved to get killed for that fucking shit. Fucking both those heroes skulking away on one fucking health. Fucking marvellous.
Time is fleeting. Our brethren's town is under attack.
Oh, what the fuck is this? Plus 18 boosts of agility on the fucking Demon Hunter. Okay, yeah, this map's got problems. Marketplace abuse to high fucking hell. I haven't actually had any units this game as well, because there's no expansion. You can't realistically get an expansion.
Our brethren's town is under attack.
He's got way too much control with those Hippo Riders. I can understand, actually, air does seem to be really powerful on a map like this, thinking about it. Because you can just bypass so many of these sort of like giant, long pathways by just flying over everything. So air does seem to be like a really solid way to go. But yeah, there's no chance now. It's going to take me half an hour to get my heroes back. So everything there is gone. So this is like a 79 minimum % chance to lose this game.
Our brethren's town is under attack. My might cannot be matched. My Nerub. Time is fleeting. Our forces are under attack. Our brethren's town is under attack.
You're going to get so ganked, unfortunately.
Our brethren's town is under attack. Our forces are under attack. My might cannot. An allied hero has been killed. As you order.
I would say my greatest concern for this map really is the fact that I think it needs to be squished down. I said that the borders need to be opened up, but only for wood purposes. As you can see, all the wood is gone. Only for wood there, but squish it just down. Just imagine squeezing it about 25%. Just squeeze it 25%. And that would go a long way, I think. A long, long way. Time for me to get fucked. It's too damn easy now for him. You can't really... It's too hard to lose once you've got that many Hippo Riders. It's not even a point repairing that, I don't think. It's only going to get killed by splash damage.
What's done is done.
Teleport's going to go off just as the Death Knight dies. Yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't wait until it's gone off and then he'd be still alive. It would wait until he's dead. But anyway, that's GG now. We're totally outmassed there. You're only looking about 71 and 65 versus 58 and 51. Very even. Yeah, there's a few problems with that map. Definitely. That misclick. I shouldn't have charged the way I did, but it's a frustrating map in that sense that you've got these really long corridors and you think, well, if I don't fucking go for it now, we're going to have to wait another half an hour until our next meetup. So, it's kind of why I got so impatient at that point. And they definitely needed to be freaking punished for the amount of bullshit they were getting away with on these one fucking health heroes just fucking running around everywhere and no fucking punishment for it whatsoever. So, yeah. I'd say my hindsight for the map is squeeze that fucker down because it feels absolutely massive when you're actually in it. So that kind of makes it a bit more depressing to play, much like the way that sort of like Phantom Grove is. It's a cool map, but I don't like playing on it because it just feels so fucking massive and it takes too long to get anywhere. But anyway, GG.